ready?
Sure, born ready.
Okay, so welcome to another episode of Immigrant Survivalcast. Finally, today's guest is not Canadian. Really excited because there's so many Canadians in this country, and I have complaints that they're not real immigrants. They're fake. I was cheating, but took me a while to find a real one. Ioan.
Thank you for having me.
So you're from Romania.
Yes.
How did you get here? How the hell did you end up here?
Just like I say all the time, by mistake.
Yeah?
I moved out of Romania to the Netherlands because my dad forced me to go to a university fair.
Uh-huh.
All my friends were having fun. It was summer. And he was like, go there. Then I went there. I enrolled in a college in the Netherlands. I spent like 10 years there. And then I decided that I want to travel.
You can look at me, yeah.
And when I started traveling, one of the countries I wanted to visit was the United States.
Yeah.
I came here in November 2017 for the first time.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was pretty cool. And then I met some guys. It was around the boom of the crypto market back then.
Cryptocurrency, what year was that?
2017.
That's still a good year for Bitcoin.
That was the best year so far.
Yeah.
So I met some guys that they wanted to start the project. I'm doing marketing.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to join them. So I came over to Los Angeles in 2018, like after 2 months. We wanted to test the waters.
Yeah.
We got some investments. We got like an office at WeWork. Everything went...
WeWork. How's that doing now?
Yeah, they're almost bankrupt. And we were like happy that we got like investments, but then in 2018 everything started collapsing.
Yeah.
So we were like just going to sleep and losing half of our investment every night.
Did you hoard any Bitcoin? Do you own a lot of Bitcoin?
I used to own like quite a lot of them during my college years. I mined them using a computer.
You could have been a millionaire, right?
Yeah, I could have, but I decided to go to Ibiza instead. When Bitcoin went from like $30 to 300, I had like 12 Bitcoins, I think, and I sold them all.
Oh, fuck!
But I had fun. It was pretty fun. Like
I have my own story with Bitcoin. Like I think it was the same year. Okay, it was when Bitcoin was about, I don't know why Google responded, when Bitcoin was like $400.
Okay.
And then I did some work for like a cryptocurrency hedge fund. And then they paid me through Bitcoin. It's like, it's not much work. It's like 4 Bitcoins. And I sold it.
Yeah.
And I think there's one Bitcoin. I don't know where it is, but that's how much now? 20 grand?
Try to find it. I know a story of one guy just bought the Bitcoin at all-time highs.
Yeah.
And then he lost the password for, I think it was Coinbase or something like that.
Okay.
Now I told him I get the password back because eventually Bitcoin hits $1 million.
Do you think Bitcoin will hit $1 million? What's your view? You look like a guy who knows Bitcoin.
I would say perhaps. But
okay, so this will sound really stupid to you, but for most people, okay, so I used to live in San Francisco, and my ex-husband works for a venture capital fund. Okay. So I have some knowledge about what it is. But a lot of people, they still don't know what Bitcoin, like they kind of know what it is, kind of explain why do you think it has value? And to people who say it's a scam, it doesn't have value, what do you want to tell them? The
idea of Bitcoin is that they created by using Bitcoin something called a blockchain.
Yeah, that's a technology.
Yeah, it's a technology that basically cannot be corrupted. So all the transactions that happen within that blockchain will stay there forever.
Yeah.
Now the problem with Bitcoin is that they wanted to make it as a digital currency.
Yeah.
It's just that everyone buys it and keeps it.
Yeah.
So they don't really transact it that much.
Yeah.
The only people that sell and buy them, they're people manipulating the market, banks.
Opportunists.
Yeah. And it became like gold, but basically gold, you can make a watch, you can do jewelry, you can do a lot of things with gold. With Bitcoin, considering that now it's like $7,000, $8,000 now, and it used to be $20,000.
Yeah.
people are just waiting to hit 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it hits 1 million, probably people are gonna wait to hit 10 millions and so on.
Okay.
So unless if it gets some sort of day-to-day usage,
yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be the best alternative for digital.
Because the original
currencies.
selling point is a decentralized currency, which
Yes.
means this is something to do with economy, but like either dollar, US dollar, or RMB, they're all fiat. Fiat money is controlled by the government. So, for example, I think after 2008 crisis, one of the things that Obama administration did is to basically print a lot of money to increase the supply of the cash to kind of revive the market. And the money, it doesn't come from any value. It's not like there's a new company that has this new like market share. It's just they printed, which caused, it didn't really cause inflation, but theoretically it could cause inflation when you just increase the supply of the fiat cash. It's a lot of factors.
But you're aware that they created several currencies that are actually imitating the dollar? So it's a bit funny because they're basically people creating some sort of code that you can exchange your Bitcoin towards that currency, and then you wait for Bitcoin to go lower so you can buy it back. And it was...
But Bitcoin, theoretically, which I don't know if it's true in practice, cannot be... Like the government can say, okay, let's just print or make 10 Bitcoins, or 10 million Bitcoins overnight. You can't do that. I can't.
No, at the moment they're going to have, this year they're going to have the halving, it's called. It's going to be in May. So everyone thinks that the Chinese are holding down the Bitcoin prices now because it's the only place on earth that is still profitable to mine it.
70% of the Bitcoin transaction of the world happens in China.
In Chengdu.
Where Bitcoin is illegal, which is crazy.
And they also use probably like illegal electricity to mine it.
Mongolia, I heard they have a lot of like Bitcoin mining facilities in Mongolia because the electricity bill is cheaper.
I know, like for example, the Chinese president said that they're also investing into the blockchain space, and they want to create their own currency in the country. While in the US, the SEC is always against it. So depending on who's gonna manipulate this technology faster, it will be like the internet. So whoever comes from dial-up internet to Wi-Fi internet and so on, fiber internet, will take over the planet.
So for people who have some money in hand, do you think... I don't think it's a very good investment as a major investment, but do you think it's worth to put aside like 5% of your investable cash to bet on this?
At the moment, it's weird because it's still high, but it's still kind of low for what you can do. What I say is like probably invest $100 and forget about them for 20 years. In 20 years, just see what happens. I mean, it's $100.
Or just think about it's like buying a piece of jewelry.
But jewelry you can
wear it, just a piece of jewelry. You put it in the
if it's gold, it should appreciate. But
just don't freaking put all your rent money on it. That's the thing.
And one important thing is that in case you invest $100 and your money goes down to 10, don't sell it. The moment you sell it, that's when you lose the money. Just keep it. It will not go to zero. If it goes to zero, so what? It's $100. If you put all your rent money, you might be a bum with a Bitcoin, which, I'm pretty
sleeping under a bridge.
You might lose that USB where you keep your Bitcoin or something. And one important thing, never keep your Bitcoins on anything online. So keep them in
So that could be hacked easily, right?
Just keep them on an offline wallet.
Is it stupid to keep it in Coinbase? Like wallet?
They're saying that they're insured in case something happens. But, I mean... Do you think this company will exist in 20 years? I mean, Facebook is almost dying now after 10 years. Google, Yahoo, think about Yahoo, is like gone, and they used to be one of the biggest companies. So I don't know, maybe it's a good investment, but I don't trust anything that will last 20, 30, 50 years and so on. Because things can happen, like I don't know.
Then what's your view on all the online cloud storage? Because... Do you think people should still store their stuff on like a external hard drive? Because I think maybe Google is going to be around, but it just the thought scares me that it could just all go away.
Well, at the moment we're testing already artificial intelligence and virtual reality. So I think once they can perfect that technology, everything will be moved to that. So I assume just like the cloud storage, now you can store images and pictures. Probably in the future you can store memories, which could be weird. Like it to be your visual memory of something.
Like Ghost in the... Did you watch the movie Ghost in the Shell?
I remember that one, but I think I watched it, but I'm not really sure.
It was a pretty groundbreaking movie, like Japanese anime. I think the movie came out in 1996. So the main plot is about this I think this woman who basically upload herself to the internet as and she forever exists as code.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's like paraphrasing, but that's like 1996, which is really cool. But there are a lot of like movies that's kind of based on that concept.
I don't like, to be honest, I'm a pretty techie guy. The only thing is that I don't want to give everything to the cloud, to the online space, because who knows, I might become the president of my country in the future and they will use it against me. So basically, not really a president, but you never know, might happen. Like in 40 years, there will be like, just like there's a comedian having jokes that in the future people make fun of their mothers just because they used to post butt pictures on Instagram. Yeah. So
can you answer a question? Like, I've been perplexed about this for a long time. Why are Eastern Europeans so good at coding? And I don't know, like, just anybody I met, either they're professional coders or they are doing other work, but somehow they're so, like, is that a thing?
To be honest, being from Eastern Europe, there are a few people, but the majority is still, like, not good at this. So it's just probably like in the United States, for example, maybe like 10% of the people know how to code. It's just that probably the people that leave Romania or Eastern Europe and come abroad, most of them do this job, and then everyone thinks that these are the best people at coding.
Because I mean, I have a translation business, right? So in translation, we have computer-assisted translation tools, CAT, and all the major CAT tools are developed by Eastern European developers. And a few of them that I'm using right now, including some of the CRM, like, customer, what does the R stand for? Whatever.
Retention management or something?
Like a customer relationship management software are all developed by, sometimes it's just a one guy, and then he's the customer service too, because every time I email the company, it would just be the same person.
Where are they from? Which country specifically?
Ukraine, Russia, Estonia, Romania. Like, it's just one of those.
One of the reasons is probably because they know how to do these things. And secondly, it's pretty cheap to work per hour there. Compared to here. Like here, they'll probably charge $200 an hour, while there they will charge probably like $40 an hour. So it's still more profitable to do it there. But I don't know, I cannot give you a clear answer. Like probably some of them are good. Also, there are not that many laws that
a lot of hackers are from there too.
So everyone was like either hacking into a website that I know. Even as a kid, they were like 12 years old.
Code outside, we're bored. Let's hack a website.
I hacked into this website. I was like, okay, and what'd you do? It's like, well, nothing. I just saw it. I had a friend who was like hacking into MacBooks at university just to show me how easy it is to hack. At university, normally you have like a password. And he was just like,
and their infrastructure wasn't very good in the first place.
He can literally, I went to 2 schools with him, and he was like hacking them pretty easy.
Can you theoretically change your GPA?
I don't know if you can get that inside the system.
I guess technically it's doable, but there's repercussions.
He was just logging in basically into their software. He's not modifying any emails and stuff like that. Probably he could have done that, but I don't know. Probably you need to be more careful what you're doing.
How tech savvy are you? Do you code?
I know basic stuff. I went to IT high school, so I know how to code.
What is IT high school?
So basically, in my country, you decide in high school what do you want to do later on in life. Then you can select like either IT, mathematics, either geography, either history, either physical education.
Same in China, we have liberal arts or science.
So basically, my IT thing, I was doing like a lot of mathematics classes, a lot of IT, and a lot of English as well. So we had to learn different softwares and different languages to code. I learned HTML and C++,
Yeah.
which are like the basics of a lot of things. But then later on in college, you learn more stuff about these languages. So I if I see a code, I can recognize what's happening there.
Yeah.
It's just that I cannot really write them myself.
I guess you can be a project manager.
Yeah, probably.
But you can, like, I mean, maybe you can, but they're like more savvy coders.
Yeah, it's basically like when you learn a language, it's kind of like learning how to read English, for example.
Yeah.
You look at the stuff and you see like, okay, so this thing is supposed to whatever, divide the numbers into two sections. You kind of get the idea what it's supposed to do. So yeah.
So what is your background like, and what are you doing now for work?
Okay. So I have a bachelor in economy. Initially, I wanted to become the next Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, okay.
So I was like very into stock market. I worked for a hedge fund company for like a year.
Where was it?
It was in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
And
that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Free hooker, free weed. You're a stock trader.
They're not free.
No, okay.
They are.
Legal. Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that it was a corporate culture. It felt unnatural to me, so I was like,
what is their lifestyle? It's the same like the movie The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean,
kind of. Basically, everyone's dressed in a suit, and everyone's like being kind of serious at work, and then when they go out and holiday parties and so on, they all get shit-faced and they talk all shit. But I didn't like the fact that they were kind of like angry with one another. So basically we were working in groups, and then if one of us was missing for whatever, he was sick or he didn't want to come to work, they were like, they were like, I'm pretty sure he's skipping work. And every time I was like not coming to work, when I was coming back, it's like I was asking, did you talk shit about me? He's like, no, how are you? You want to hurt me?
So it's very cutthroat.
Yeah. And eventually I left because I don't know. I think everyone got the bonus in my team besides me, because I was just the entry level. They took me for dinner.
Yeah.
And I was like, screw you guys. Like, I'm not gonna.
And then you left. Did you just leave like Netherlands? Or?
No. I was still there. In the meantime, in the last 3 months before leaving, I started an entertainment company because I was passionate about music. Yeah. So I was organizing different house and techno events, and then we started a label, me and my brother. Oh, cool. And we were like launching different artists, and music was exclusively on vinyl, so it was like limited releases and stuff. So
what kind of genre are you talking about?
It was mainly deep house, eclectic house, and minimal house.
So house music.
Yeah, house music. So
okay. I'm not very familiar with that, but is that very hot in Europe?
It's popular in Eastern Europe. Western Europe, the big cities are probably.
So what kind of scene is it attached to? Like the dance club?
Yeah, it's a dance club and festivals, different festivals. Like most of them are actually playing in Los Angeles, even Coachella. Sorry, not Coachella. How's it called? Burning Man.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like weird music with some sort of vibe. It's kind of like after party music.
Why did you start that? Because you're a fan of this type of music, or you see something in it?
I was a fan of it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but I was with my brother and a lot of my friends were doing this, and I was like, why pay money to go to a party when I can organize the parties and people can come to my parties?
Is it lucrative?
It was pretty good. I did it for like 5 years. And then I just stopped. I just give my share to my brother, and then he continued. We still have the label. Yeah. We're like launching maybe once a year.
So what is the monetization? Right? How do you make money?
It was mainly vinyl.
Yeah.
So we were launching vinyls like 100 pieces. Yeah. And then 500 pieces. Vinyls were anywhere between $10 to $20. Yeah. But then just because they're so limited, now we have a few vinyls that are for sale for like $150.
People buy it
on a secondary market. Yeah, and people buy them because that's the only way you can get that music. So there's that music doesn't exist in digital format. If you want it,
it's kind of like a retro way of doing it.
Yeah. We did have to launch a few albums that were on
Spotify or whatever.
Spotify, Beatport, and all these major platforms, just so we can promote the artists.
So did you start a company in Netherlands or?
Yes.
Is that a very business friendly, country?
Yeah, I mean, I started the company I think in 20 minutes. I just went there. They even opened a bank account directly.
Wow.
You just go there. I think it's the most business friendly country I've ever been to.
What about that compared with United States? Because I own a small company here. I have a team of like 10 to 15 people. Just translation, very simple business. And there are a lot of freaking, bureaucracy and paperwork, but...
I also started a company here, and it was similar to the one in the Netherlands. It's my first year now.
Yeah.
I have to do my taxes soon.
Yeah.
Taxation is very weird in the United States.
I have an SCorp just to give people like an idea. Like if you are what is the fucking word for it? So proprietor?
Yeah.
If you're a sole proprietor, you're a freelancer, you have any freelance business. If you don't make that much money, it doesn't even matter. Well, once you make, I would say over $50,000, put some money down, spend a few $100s, set up a SCorp. I would suggest SCorp instead of LLC. Yeah. Don't call me on it. I'm not a tax attorney. If you take my advice and fucked up, don't sue me. But from my personal experience, get an SCorp because the new California AB5 law it's kind of make it really hard for you to be deemed as a 1099 worker unless you're incorporated. You're a business-to-business transaction. And I heard there through the grapevine that SCorp sometimes counts, but LLC don't even count. They will still have to treat you as an employee. Long story short, the most direct benefits you can get is you can save money on tax legally. Yeah. I would say, I'm not going to disclose how much tax I pay, but it saves me at least like a few $1,000s in tax payment without changing anything. Same income, just because you set it up. And this is after taking out all the business fees,
About LLC, I heard that it would be very, very hard to close it, especially in California. So if you open an LLC and for some reason you want to close it in the future, what about as corporations? Corporation is much easier.
Why is that? I have no idea.
Me neither. It's just that. Plus, California has like a unique fiscal system, I think, everything is more expensive here. Yeah. So probably the government knows that people have more money here, so they're trying harder to take the money away from you.
The AB5 law really stirred up a lot of things because it was coming into effect like this year, January 1st. And for me as a translator, translators, they're gig workers like in nature, right? You as long as you're not an in-house translator, you do it gig from gig, just like being a writer or comedian or actor. But they have a few exemptions on the list, but now if you're a translator, your employer have to regard you as a employee, which means they're gonna pay way more money to pay for like unemployment insurance and payroll tax and whatever. They increase the cost of the employment, but you don't get as much.
What if you use freelancers? You cannot use freelancers?
That's the thing. Now, even if you're a freelancer, they have like 3 guidelines. Like, as long as you don't fall into the 3 guidelines, you have to be considered as an employee, which means if you perform any work under the direction of your employer, you're an employee. So if you translate, let's say you translate a small piece of article for me, it takes you an hour to do. But I have to tell you, hey, I need it by 9. Or if I correct your work. So you can't say you're not doing it under my direction, right?
What if you hire people that live outside of the United States?
That doesn't make, that doesn't include. It wasn't included. Doesn't apply to this case. But if you like in California, and I think they're gonna expand the law to other states too. Like, and if your line of work require you to take a lot of like freelance gig, you know, because not everybody want to be an employee. I don't want to be an employee.
Yeah, because you have to pay a lot of taxes.
I want to get out at, you know, like whenever I want. Start as corporation, it's gonna cost you, I don't know, $800 to $1,000
like
per year.
Yeah.
You know, all the fees, but just do it, and you will thank yourself later. Because translators now are freaking out because they can't be exempted.
But you know, like a lot of companies, especially big ones, I used to have a teacher in college, and he was a specialist for a corporation that was doing tax avoidance. So basically, big corporations hire these people as, I don't know, accountants or whatever they are, just to find loopholes to go around. So he was telling me something like, for example, you can sell a product from your country to another country. You don't pay taxes because it goes to another country.
I think Ireland has something to do with it.
No, for example, online companies have that pretty often. So for example, if you have a dropshipping website, do you know what?
I know dropshipping is. Okay, so for listeners who don't know what dropshipping is, dropshipping means you're selling products online, but instead of having inventory, instead of buying, let's say 1,000 pieces of clothes and store it in your warehouse, and somebody buy it, you send it to the person. You don't code any inventory. You set up a shop, and then you contact your supplier. So when somebody purchases a piece of the product, the information will be directly sent it to your supplier from, let's say, China. And then your supplier will ship it directly to the person, which means you don't have to spend money. All your money is going to be spent on marketing and setting up the shop. That's drop shipping.
Basically, you're like the middleman.
Yeah, you're the broker. You don't even have to buy like 100 pieces.
That's the thing. You shouldn't touch the product for this system to work. So basically, let's say you're selling products from England to the United States. You register the company in England. And then everyone that buys in the United States, you ship them from England, even though it's from China, to United States, zero taxes. Then if someone wants to buy products from England, you set up a company in the United States, and then you ship them from United States to England, although they come from China. And again, no taxes. So basically, you don't pay taxes. Of course, you will have to pay taxes on profit. But there's no value-added tax, just simple tax.
Because in Europe there's like VAT, you know,
but here is the same thing. Here's not called VAT; it's called tax.
Here is kind of different. VAT is like based on business transactions. So every time when product change hands, you pay certain taxes. It's weird because in LA it's full of freelancers and stuff, but I'm very shocked about how financially illiterate people are here. Like this kind of stuff, you're like one of the first people that knows, you know, this kind of terms and stuff. A lot of people they're just like, and they came with a fucking tax bill. Oh, I owe $10,000.
I notice it also. Like, I don't know if they're illiterate. I think they just don't care until it hits them. What
the fuck?
Because that's why if you tune into the radio, you'll hear a lot of commercials like, this person helped me get rid of $50,000 that I own to the IRS. Like, how the hell did you get?
How the hell did you owe 50 grand in the first place?
As a business, especially. I don't know. I think people just start something, they start getting money, and then they're like, now I have to pay something. It's like, I don't have money.
And a lot of, you know what it is, like a lot of entertainers, like they're not educated on this, and they pay a big. For example, one good example is one of the greatest, probably the best stand comic of all time, George Carlin. Do you know his story?
Of course. No. What's his story?
So George Carlin worked till he died, right?
Yeah.
You know about that. Like in the beginning, I thought, this guy just loves stand-up. Which is also true. So he rather work until the day he dies. And later on, I found out what really happened. He owed IRS a lot of tax, like millions. Like So he basically just received money, right, from his gigs, and he's think, oh, these are my money. So he didn't set aside anything. He probably blow all the money, and then he didn't pay tax for like 3 years or something. And then IRS, they're sneaky. They're like, we're gonna wait until your bill got really big, and then we'll hit you with penalty, with 500% penalty. And then it hit him. He said, oh shit, I owe like millions of dollars. And then he was like in his like 60s or 70s. He's like, I have no choice. I have to tour. So he's like, he worked until he died to pay off IRS. That's sad.
I had a similar case with a DJ I brought from Germany to Romania once, and I paid some money to his booking agency, but the rest of the money I was supposed to pay him in cash.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, he told me the story. He said that the same thing, like he didn't pay taxes for I don't know how many years. And he had like probably like 200,000 euros, which is like $250,000 in
That's a lot.
taxes.
Like 40% tax.
And he said that any money that goes through his bank account, the government is just going to put a hold on it.
We're going to take it first.
So, yeah. I don't know, like a lot of like who was it? Wesley Snipes had an issue.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has issues because I think they're getting so much money that
they're like, oh, these are my money.
It's like kind of like, yeah, I'll buy this car, I'll buy this house. They don't care, and then eventually this money stops coming in,
and they sneak up on you. They sneak up on you,
and taxes come, and then you're like, okay, so you made $50 million for Pirates of the Caribbean. Great, you owe us 10. What do you mean I only 10? It's like I don't have the money. And it's like, yeah, well, you still owe us 10.
You should get us money in the first place.
So, yeah.
I don't know if this is the only United States, because in China, right, you get paid the tax already deducted.
They take it away. No, in Europe, they also pay you the same way. It's just that, I don't know. I think you can do your taxes much easier on your own.
Yeah.
Plus, they're connected to your bank account. So when you complete your taxes, everything is there. And they know it's like, okay, you have $2,000 in your bank account. You had $50,000 this year.
Yeah.
You own us approximately this much. Do you want to deduct anything? And then you put like, transportation, this.
Oh, that sounds great.
So it's pretty easy to do.
So here's like you have to hire somebody to do it. You better hire somebody who knows
But
his
here
business.
I think they're doing intentionally for you to pay fines and so on.
And then you report it, and they don't tell you. And if you fuck off something, and they're gonna repercussions.
I heard
gotcha.
I heard a joke about this. It was something like, "Hi, we're the IRS. You have to pay your taxes." And the guy's like, "Okay, how much do I have to pay?" It's like, we know, but we're not going to tell you. But if you're wrong, you'll get the fine.
Yeah, like it happens to me, right? I thought I was savvy enough. So I don't have any payroll set up because it's just me, a one-person shop in my company with a bunch of freelancers. But somehow I register EDD, the California franchise tax board.
Okay.
EDD, employer, whatever account. But I don't have any payroll, so I didn't report anything. But what they see is, hey, you have a payroll account set up, but you didn't report anything. So we're going to estimate. We're going to just make an estimation of how much you owe us. And then I got a bill like $5,000. Why do I owe $5,000 for what? And then my accountant said, oh, you're not supposed to set up this account if you don't have any payroll. Since you don't, I said, but I don't know. I didn't report anything. Yeah, but they assume you're supposed to report this much.
So did you get rid of it?
Yeah, I have to call them, my accountant called them to straight it out, and I close up the account, and then they, I didn't pay anything.
I had a similar case when I opened my company in the Netherlands, because they asked me like, so how much do you estimate you'll make in the first year? I was like, I don't know, like 30,000.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then you have to pay your taxes there every quarter.
Yeah, same thing here.
And then first quarter came up like literally 2 days after I opened my company. So then they divided that amount that I suggested that I'll make. And then they said like, okay, you owe us $4,000 in taxes. I was like, I just opened my company 2 days ago. I don't even have my card yet. And then basically I could have said, I just sent them a letter in English, just saying like, I opened my company 2 days ago. I'm not going to pay for this. And then 1 week later, they just sent me another letter saying 0.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's crazy. There's so many things to. My advice is, okay, this is not a tax advice. Find a good accountant And if you're a freelancer or doing any freelance business in entertainment industry, ask your accountant, hey, does it make sense for me to set up an SCorp and then do some numbers? That's first thing.
One other update on your suggestion is when you find your accountant asking questions, like any crazy question, because he's gonna tell you if you're right or wrong. If he doesn't know an answer to it, that means he's probably not the good accountant.
And then tell your accountant, hey, I think I'm gonna make this much this year. I know you have to punch in the number, but by estimation, how much do you think I will owe based on this number I tell you? And also, anytime you get a paycheck, if you're a 1099 worker, set up like 30%. Put it in the savings account. And don't touch it until the tax season because you never know. You think it's your money? No, it's not your money yet. Wow, it's a very, very, I never expect this would be the money talk, but you see how excited I am when I finally meet somebody who can talk about shit like this without being called, hey, you're being too Asian on this.
Nah. Like, maybe it's like an Eastern European thing. I mean, people in the Western countries of Europe are also pretty clumsy about finances. But what they do is not because they don't know, it's just because most of them work in corporations. And then it's, as you said, like they just take 20% of your money before they give you the paycheck and that's it. And you're like,
they never think about that.
Chilling. But then you can even get some of your money back if you have an accountant to just say like, okay, I spent this amount of money, you owe me this, whatever I was making less there, more here, and so on. But some people are just feeling chill, bro. They're chilling.
And set up an IRA, 401k retirement account ASAP. Seriously, like I can't emphasize. It's weird. I'm getting so worked up.
Do they have private pension funds here in?
Well, some good companies will have pension.
No, like can you do them
for
your own?
IRA. It's called
IRA. Okay, I don't have it yet. I literally started my company.
It's IRA or IRA Roth.
Okay.
It's called individual retirement account. So basically, every year I think you can put in $6,000.
Okay.
If it's a traditional IRA account, you can deduct that from your income. Okay. But you can't touch it until you're 59.5, like basically before you're 60. Okay. But that money you can use it to buy stocks. You know, you can open one with Vanguard, with Fidelity.
Yeah, you can invest them. Most of the people invest them into, again, not a financial advice, into index funds. Just check them.
I invested in index. If you don't know like anything about stock market, don't fuck with it. Please just don't fuck with it. Just buy, VTI or VOO. Those are the ticker symbol for Vanguard fund. VOO, VTI, or QQQ, which is a more aggressive fund. And just buy that. Don't touch it. Don't spend time because it takes years to really learn. Even people who think they know shit, they don't know nothing. They think they can fight.
I know. I still think that the big crisis is gonna hit very soon. Yeah. Everyone seems to be like, don't worry, everything goes well. Yeah, it goes well until one night when everything goes down. Yeah. Because I don't know, like I kind of experienced the 2018 crisis through my parents, but nothing changed since then. People are still using credit cards. They're still getting stuff that they cannot afford. Yeah. And then eventually they will lose their job or whatever. They will not pay back.
And they're like, let me buy some marijuana company, buy some stocks in some marijuana company. It was like, that sounds like a great idea. Just buy an index fund. And if the crisis hits, it's going to go down, but it will bounce back. If America still exists and running.
What do you think about, you're from China, what do you think about China taking over the planet?
I don't know, man.
They're trying hard now.
They are, but there are a lot of, it's gonna, I don't know.
There are a lot of people there, and there's basically more people, more money. Simple as that. Yeah. And I mean, think about it. United States is 300 million. China has 5 times more almost.
Why do you think United States invests so much money in the military?
Yeah, I was reading something. They invest 56 cents on each dollar the government produces.
Yeah, why? Like, not just to show everybody. It's a strategy. It's a lot of things.
Well, first of all, it's it's military equipment that they can sell to themselves and to others.
It's a business. They're private investors for war.
Yeah, I was listening to this on Bill Burr's podcast.
Yeah. You listen to that too.
Yeah, I was just listening now when I came over. They're saying that there are people investing into war. They're like, I think it's a good investment.
Yeah,
like that's absurd in a way. But I don't know, like.
I don't know about the whole China taking over part. I don't know. What do you mean by take over? Like being the strongest
economically, like not taking over. Because I was thinking like in the future, if they take over, everyone has to speak Chinese, and then Hollywood will become.
It's already,
but it's still in English. But it could become like already in Chinese.
Like I was listening to like some other podcasts, people writing, like a writer writing in saying, "Hey, when I write a script." And it has something to do with China, right? Do I have to be worried that I can't say anything negative? Otherwise, because there are a lot of money come from China investing in American, Hollywood, and it just crushes me because I came here for the freedom here, and now you guys are China, they're bitches too,
Yeah, South Park had an episode about this.
I know, banning China. Yeah, that was so funny, that one.
I don't know, like already like I went to China several times and I saw that what's happening there is like a hybrid between communism and capitalism.
I don't even know what it is. We call it social. We call it socialism with Chinese characteristics. That's the direct translation. But I don't know what it is. I
went to a city where
Where did you go?
I went to Chengdu several times.
That's great food.
I know it's super spicy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
A hot pot.
Yeah. How's your asshole hanging? Not good.
I ate once and I couldn't feel my lips for like 4 hours. I was like spitting and it was just like weird. Yeah. But anyway, I went to their downtown and they had like a Louis Vuitton shop that was bigger than the original Louis Vuitton shop in Paris, France.
We're like Japan in the 90s. Buying everything like crazy until and then they're like putting their Louis Vuitton on eBay or Taobao in China in this case.
I remember they had like sections. I know I'm also from an ex-communist country.
Yeah.
There are sections where cars can enter because there's so many cars, but they're trying to make sure that they can all fit on the road.
Yeah.
And in downtown, I was asking someone like, so why are there only expensive cars in downtown? It's like, if you have a nice car, you can come downtown. In downtown, they only had Lamborghinis, Bugattis, like super $100,000 cars. Like, so only nice cars can go in downtown. Is it like a tax or something to go to downtown, or is it just like if you have a nice car, go ahead?
That's why I'm okay with Crazy Rich Asians. I'm not crazy about the movie. I just feel like it's not telling my story. Like I'm not rich, but there's so many crazy rich Chinese people, and they act like they just got rich like yesterday, and they're like being really
but I think it's also, I mean, I'm not saying it's easier to become rich in China. It's just that because you have a big population there,
and it's a crazy time. It's you bet on one thing correctly. There's more opportunity.
I mean, think about it. You start a toothpick factory and you have like 1.3 billion possible clients. Well, if you start a toothpick factory in the United States, it's like only 300 million. So,
That's the thing about like, there's a Chinese comedy scene now,
Probably.
and I'm just saying like, even like in the open mic today, we went to like Haha Comedy Club for open mic. Like, I think you're pretty unlucky to get drawn like at last. Just there are like 2 people. When I was there, like, I don't know, 10 people there, or sometimes you have like 20, 30 people there. In China, any open mic, you're gonna have like a full packed house of real audiences.
Yeah, because it's something new, probably.
It's so new.
It's new and it's exciting. Like here, they have open mic and a comedy club on every street corner. Yeah. So it's kind of like, okay, whatever.
I can't believe we talked about money for like 40 minutes. I still haven't. Okay, so you got. When did you move to the U.S.?
I officially moved in August 2018.
2018, and because you got married.
I got married 4 months later.
Ah, okay. So you told me you guys met him on Bumble.
Yeah, it was very weird because we were not supposed to meet on Bumble.
What do you mean you're not supposed to
No,
meet
like
on Bumble?
for example, I installed. I was living in Playa Vista, which is like a neighborhood next to Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And I was living with another guy in the house. His brother came to visit us, and I was like, "Oh my God, Bumble! There's so many girls on Bumble."
Yeah.
And I was like, "I don't know, like I know Tinder, but I don't really like it." He was like, "No, but this works." So I was like, "Okay, let me install
They
it."
had to message you first.
Yeah, and then basically she lived like 50 miles away from where I was living, but she had a client. She's doing like hair lash extensions, and she had a client around that area.
Yeah.
She came over, and then Bumble connected her in my matching group.
Oh, because it's within the radius of whatever.
And then I swiped, she swiped, and then she was like, "Hey, where do you live?" And I was like, "Here." I was like, "Whoa, that's 50 miles away." And she wasn't trying to come over to see me. She was like, "Nah, I don't want to come." I was like, "Come on." It's like, "Come on over." And then she finally came over, and we had a good connection, I guess. Then we started having like some sort of weird relationship from seeing her.
Weird relationship?
Like I was seeing her twice a week or once a week because she was living like an hour and a half away from me.
Okay, it's like a long distance relationship in the same city.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is a bit weird. And then I had to go after a month and a half of me knowing her. I had to go to Korea, South Korea for like 2 months. And then to Singapore for another month. And then we kept talking. And then she came to visit me. Then I went back to my country, Romania. She came again to visit me. And she was like, it's like either you move here, either I move there. I was like,
and then,
okay.
You speak English. She doesn't speak Romanian, right?
Romanian.
Okay.
So it'll be people do speak English in my country, young people, but of course it's
easier for you to be here than she to
correct
to go to your country. So how was it part of your plan? Not like the plan,
not really. To be honest, I came over for a project. Then I was supposed to stay here until the project ends, and then ideally we will all be like super rich, so we can open an office in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Though it didn't work out that way. And then
So what's your current business?
I have a marketing agency, a digital marketing agency.
So who are you? Like, what kind of clients do you deal with?
I mainly work with real estate agents and medical practices.
I should have met you before. I used to be a real estate agent.
Nice. How did that go?
I was selling more than 10 houses a year, which is pretty good.
Here in
San Francisco.
San Francisco, okay.
But then, I mean, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Eventually, I wanted to do comedy and writing. So I quit that. But I remember I spent, like, marketing is the number one. Because there's nothing, like, there's so many agents. It all comes down to...
Yeah, look at me.
So what do you do?
So basically, I help these clients get leads either for buyers or for sellers of properties, and then I put all the leads through a CRM software that follows up with them.
Do you have like customer service people?
Yes, I do have a team that calls all these leads to pre-qualify them to find out, hey, do you want to buy a house? Do you work with a real estate agent?
Do you know Real Geeks?
Not really.
Okay, but there are a lot of like different servicing companies who does like a customizable website, like MLS, DX websites.
No, I don't do websites. I'm basically just using an ad.
Yeah.
I get the lead, meaning phone number, email, and name.
Where did you put the ad?
Mainly on Facebook, because that gets the best results. And then we send them, we have like a little hook, like 5 reasons to sell your house, 10 reasons.
Content marketing.
Yeah. And then I send like a couple of videos with this agent to the lead saying, hey, my name is, thank you very much for opting in. I will call you shortly.
Yeah.
So it builds trust between the parties. And then when my team calls them, it's like, hey, this is Samantha. I'm calling you on behalf.
Are they from the Philippines?
No, they're actually from San Diego.
Oh, you use local people, because I used to have a virtual assistant from the Philippines to do the callings for me.
I do have a virtual assistant to help me get clients.
Yeah.
So she does the email inbound. She talks to them, so she can set appointments. So I can talk to them.
Because you were here for less than 2 years. Like, how did you already? You're so business minded. Like, how did you already get this business up and running without knowing anybody here?
But I don't need to know anyone here, to start this business realistically. I was doing online marketing for like 5 years now. I had I had a shop. I was having a dropshipping shop.
Yeah.
And then I sold it. And I realized that a lot of my friends were asking me, like, oh, how did you make it? Can you help me?
Yeah.
Initially, when I started, I kind of didn't know anything. And everyone was like, man, well, you don't have a job now. You're just spending money online.
Yeah.
And then when they saw that I was making money, I don't know, at one point I was making like $5,000 in sales per day.
Jeez.
And they were like, shocked. It's like, I make that much in a month.
Yeah.
And everyone was asking me, hey, help me. And then I was like, okay, but if I help them, of course, they're my friends. Everyone expects me to help them for free.
So in another way, like, you make so much money through your dropshipping because of your successful marketing strategy.
Yes, correct.
And then you think, okay, so people are so interested in how did you
you do it? Then I was like, I can help you, but I need to gain some of it. I cannot help everyone for free. I need to still pay rent.
So does it work the same whether you're a real estate agent or you have an online shopping store?
The idea, yes, is the same. The strategy is a bit different. So I learned Facebook ads then and Google ads. And now it's just a matter of, instead of targeting people that love whatever Apple products, I target people that are interested in buying a house and they have an income between this amount and this amount. They're married, they have a kid on the way, and so on, to find like a perfect candidate to buy a house. Because I'm not going to target students. Students are not going to buy a house. I'll target people that, for example, work for a company and you can.
Facebook and Instagram has a pretty good tool to narrow down.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same one. Is you can basically Facebook.
Do you do Google
Instagram.
PPC?
Yes, Google is the most expensive one out of all of them, and it depends on what kind of company you have. It depends if it's gonna work or not. For example, it works very good for lawyers and IT companies. Not that much for real estate agents, because you're not gonna Google and say like, hey, this is Bob, I want to sell your house.
How do you compete with Zillow or Trulia? Zillow and Trulia are like the number one. Zillow Trulia already is one company, the number one real estate company like website in the world. So you typing any address, you're gonna go to Zillow.
Well, Zillow, they also have like a marketing system.
Because I advertise this on Zillow before. I have to pay them thousands of dollars a month.
Yes,
yeah,
and that's how it works.
Very expensive.
So basically, depending on your location on Zillow, they might send you 1 lead per month or 10 leads a month.
Yeah.
But the only thing they do is they're just waiting for someone to opt in their software, and they're like, you're interested in this zip code. We'll send you to this person. Well, on Facebook, you just target everyone in that location.
Yeah.
So I can guarantee a certain amount of leads per month to my clients. Instead, Zillow is kind of like,
do you charge a flat fee or do you?
I charge per lead provided.
That's pretty good.
And
there's no minimum? No
retainer?
I
do have like 100 leads minimum.
Okay.
Because I do get like a conversion rate between 2 to 10%.
That's that usually like 4%. 4 to 8% is like a pretty reasonable when it comes to real estate.
So if
clients.
they order only 10 leads, they might get like maybe like 1
What
or
area
0.
are you doing? California?
No, I do all over the United States. The only thing I don't do is I don't work with 2 agents that are in the same location, because then I'll compete with myself.
Got it.
Because I'm using the same strategy for everyone. Of course, depending on their area, I might change a few things. But there are like so many locations. Like only Orange County has like 80 pools, they're called. So there are 80 potential agents I can work with, and Orange County is like pretty small. Like it's not that big.
Orange County is a pretty good market because you don't really change your pricing, based on the housing price, do you?
No, I do have like a fixed price per lead, and that kind of covers all over the United States. In some areas, I might make a little less money or more money, but still, as long as the client sees results, they're still gonna continue ordering from me. Like some people are already ordering like 300, 400 leads per month from me. Of course, they have like brokerage companies and they might get more leads.
How do you get familiar with this thing so quickly in another country? That's just because for me, right? Like I had problem. Did you ever try to find a job? Because I used to I tried looking for a job and I couldn't find any.
Last time I had a job was that time in corporate in the.
That's it. And you're forever.
After
you're like
that,
you don't want to do that.
No. I don't know. Like for some, my dad is also entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And I know that he's been going through different struggles throughout his career. Like he had this business, then he went down, then he had this business, and then what I had, it was something similar. Like I had entertainment company. I had also a short stay renting company in Amsterdam. Then I had the online shop. Now I have social media marketing. And then I learned from all these things. Like for example, from the short stay renting company, I learned some basics about real estate. Like
you mean short sale?
Short stay.
What
so
does that mean?
basically, I was renting apartments from owners, and then I was renting them on Airbnb.
Short stay. Okay.
Yeah. So I was paying the owners a premium, and instead of them getting paid $2,000 to rent, I'll pay them $3,000.
Yeah.
And then I would rent this apartment on Airbnb.
But they know it's being rented on Airbnb.
And then I decided to do like a split thing with them. I was telling them, okay, I'll pay you 50% of all. Because there are like a lot of people that have like 10 apartments and they don't do nothing with them.
Wow.
They cannot find people. And then they prefer to have it rented for 10 days a month and get all their money. And then the rest of the time they can, whatever, hang around.
This is, I mean, not to brag about my own show. I think my show is so interesting because literally before you, I interview like other people who are stand-up comedians. They're like, yeah, I'm living my car to chase my dream.
Well,
and you're like, completely different. That's so interesting.
I have a story like this. The only thing I would not do is still sell my cryptocurrencies. I promise myself that if I become so poor, I'll still keep my crypto. I'll just
live under the bridge.
Well, I can move in with my
with
parents.
your hard drive full of bitcoins.
I don't think that thing works for people in Europe, at least. Like here in the United States, it's a bit weird. Everyone's like, I'll live in my car to... But in Europe, I can move in with my parents. I can stay with my parents for 5 years. And then whatever, I'll take, unless there's still not...
That's the thing. Like I like money, right? But I'm fine with not making a lot of money. But I need to have enough to have a roof over my head. Like that's the baseline. Without the baseline, I can't like do all the kind of first world dream chasing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is Romania considered a second world? Or China's a third world country.
Yeah, I think it's similar to China, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better, but we are both we both used to be a communist country, so the bullshit that we went through.
We still have a communist
similar.
mentality. Like most of the politicians are older communists that are now like, oh, I'm a Democrat.
But like your parents or your grandparents' generation, they fucking suffered.
Yeah.
Through not having shit. Right, so because of that, I think that's like in my DNA. It's like I gotta have some shit here.
Yeah, my dad was telling me that he was paying like 5 times the price of a pair of Levi jeans during the communist time, and now every time my parents come over, either I was living in the Netherlands, either here, they're like, we need to buy a pair of Levi jeans. Like we have Levi jeans in Romania. It's like they're not the same. I want to buy them directly from the store. So I'm like, they're still the same pair of jeans.
They're made in China anyway.
So, yeah, I don't know. Like probably in like a couple of years, things will change in both of our countries because.
But what is your passion like? Do you like what you're doing? Do you feel happy about making money on the because some people they just do that so they can fund their other projects or dreams. But you seem like you really enjoy the process of making things happen.
Yes,
your hustle. Yeah.
Yes. My biggest challenge now is like not having enough time. I don't know. Like I always have feelings like today I didn't do what I planned to do.
Yeah.
indirectly, I know that I did a lot of things today.
Yeah.
It's just that I could have done more. Like,
Yeah.
what if I wouldn't eat lunch now, or I wouldn't go to sleep at 8 o'clock? But what I want to do in the future is now I kind of have like a project in mind. I met some people to work on this. I want to build like a eco-friendly resort in Romania.
Yeah.
And
You're gonna build a resort now.
Yeah,
Damn, we're talking about big money.
and it will be it's not gonna be like
I have
something
a voucher,
fancy.
50% off voucher.
I want to do like 3 houses. So basically, to be like, it will not be like a weird house. You still have a bathroom and a shower.
Yeah.
But it will be up in a tree. It will be something more special. And then you can do like a yoga retreat. You can go fishing, and so something like that connects you back to the nature. And I want to make it a bit more special. So I want to price it a bit higher, and I want to have like only 5 houses just to test it out. If it works, I'm going to expand it. And that's one of the projects. And the other one is like, I always wanted to own a restaurant, but I never work in a restaurant in my entire life. I don't know anything about it. And I know that if I want to own a restaurant, I have to start with something small, like, I don't know, like
then a restaurant, then real estate, then you're gonna have your own reality show. And then
I don't know if I want to reality. I cannot become president now because
you weren't born, but come on, birth certificate is pretty easy.
Even in my country, I cannot become president because I bought weed in the Netherlands using a credit card.
Okay. What does that?
You can buy weed in the Netherlands using debit or credit card.
But why does that have anything to do with
because
you cannot be president?
Weed is still illegal in my country, and they're gonna use that against me for sure. They'll be like,
this will be the proof. This very video will be
so I know
proof.
that I'm not gonna. I don't know if I'll do well in politics. Like, I was thinking at one point, it's like, I want to become a politician. But basically, I don't know. I think you'll change as a person because you have to do stuff similar to other people that are maybe corrupted, because they're gonna kick you out of the group. It's like, okay, we're gonna do this thing now. It's like, well, I don't want to do it. It's like, okay, let's throw you on the bus. You just say, it's just like in that movie Training Day. It'll be like, okay, we're all gonna shoot this guy. It's like, well, I don't want to shoot. It's like, okay, then he's the bad guy.
So what is comedy to you? Because I met you at a comedy show, right? But I don't know like all those ventures behind you.
Okay.
I know you're not just a comedian, because I met a lot of people. Comedy is all I have. I'm like, this guy must have a lot of other things going on.
To be honest, I wanted to do comedy for like at least 6 years now.
Okay.
But I was living in the Netherlands, so there were no open mics in English. And if they had one, it was like once every 3 months, and it was like in front of 4 students.
Yeah.
So I never did it.
Yeah.
I was like writing jokes.
Yeah.
I had like, even nowadays, I have like jokes from like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just joined like a comedy class in Huntington Beach, just to get things rolling. And as a homework, I had to start performing.
Yeah.
And then, I started performing like crazy. I was going like every day. The guy was like, hey, there's actually comedians not going that often as you are. So I just started comedy in August last year. I think I went easily 100 times until now.
Okay.
So I was going like 3-4 times a week. And I do like it because I don't know, it seems initially I thought it's gonna be weird because of my accent or because I might not relate to people around here. But for some reason, people pay attention to me just because I have a funny accent when I start talking.
You have a very interesting stage presence. Like, your jokes are kind of like...
Yeah, they're kind of mean.
No, they're weird.
They're weird? It could be.
But it's in a good way.
Yeah,
because who the fuck is this guy?
People told me that I'm kind of like...
Stephen Wright?
Eastern
European
they told me
Stephen
like
Wright?
I'm a good guy trying to be an asshole. And I don't know, like, from what I see, all my jokes are mainly like short jokes, like one-liners. I don't really want to do them like this, but they seem to work. So I'm going to carry on doing them like this, at least for the time being. As for comedy, to be honest, like a lot of doors opened for me since I started doing it. There's like a show in Romania called iHumor. Just like iPad, something like that. And they just had the casting. I applied, and now I'm supposed to go there in 2 weeks.
Oh, cool! What kind of show? Is it a reality show or?
No, it's kind of like America's Got Talent, something like that.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
And then if you win, they give you like, I don't know, like $50,000 and some sort of contract with some agency. But I don't know if I'm gonna win. I just want to go there because again, I'm gonna meet some other comedians.
How do you even have time to do this with all your businesses on the side?
Well, most of my business is done online, so I can go and live in Bangladesh if I want to, as long as I have an internet connection.
Same for me. I work 2 hours a day, and then I can just work anywhere, and that's why I go to comedy all the time.
So that's pretty good. Like, I mean, we live in 2020. You don't have to stay in an office
now,
for 20.
If you ask me to do a corporate job, I'm like, you have to pay me a lot of money for. Even then, I'm like, nah. Just waking up in the morning, it's like a thing.
My opinion
that I don't do anymore
about corporate jobs is that when you go there, people there'll be people at your level, and there'll be people higher up.
Yeah.
And they always kind of act like cocky. It's like, oh, you know who I am. But then I'm thinking, like, do you know what I did to come until I came here? Like, you know how many things I did until now? So you cannot be that cocky in front of me. So that's why I will probably not take a corporate job anytime soon. I will not fit there. I'll probably just quit after a few months.
This is a good example for a lot of new immigrants who feel lost or, have money problem or whatever. Start your own business. Why not?
Yeah.
Why waiting for somebody to give you a job? Because the odds work against us because you have an accent. I have an accent. I'm from a college that they never heard of, right? I don't know anybody here. Of course, they're going to hire somebody else instead of me, right? So instead of waiting for a job to land on you, why don't you just start a business and start create your own jobs? Make way more money and don't have to wake up in the morning.
A lot of people think that starting a business is like super time consuming and you need to have money saved up, but you can start like a business doing like whatever, as the classical American business. I was lawning, cleaning people's houses,
walk people's dogs. I know a lot of you move to a community or target a community, right? Richer community who have dogs, and you just set a shop there, you walk people's dogs, you charge $20 per walk, you collect 5-10 dogs. That's a pretty decent living.
Yeah, true. I mean,
simple as that.
From my experience, like, I think you can do anything that you want, as long as you're willing to work for like 6 months. In 6 months you can learn to
learn a lot. You can learn video editing in 6 months.
Yeah.
You can set up an online shop. You can do an online business without any overhead. You don't have to rent a place or whatever.
There are plenty of websites. Like, if you want to be a freelancer, you can start becoming as a freelancer. And there's so many jobs there. Like, from beginners, like, you can just post pictures on Instagram. That's it. You can do that. Learn a few of the ropes of how to post.
And there's a fancy name for it: social media management.
Yeah. Everything is management.
Yeah.
There's like nowadays people don't want to get a job unless they're manager.
Or just learn. Okay, so my advice: I'm probably gonna learn myself, not to do as a business. Just go to YouTube and type in Facebook marketing or YouTube marketing and find like some video that's like 1 hour long to explain to you how does it work. It's not that hard. It's like an instruction book. But trust me, a lot of people don't know how to do it, and just offer it as a service. You don't have to have a marketing company. You can I just post this shit for you. Because it's confusing for a lot of people.
You're mentioning that a lot of immigrants might be feeling awkward because they're immigrants. But my experience is that I think they're all trying to do some sort of businesses. Yeah. Even though they have a job, they want to do something on the side. The people that live in a certain country, I'm not just talking about America, anywhere on the planet, they seem to be the ones like, I'll have it easy. Like, my dad or my mom knows someone, or I know this guy from there, and I'll get a job with those people. Well, if you go there without knowing anyone, you kind of have to start from the bottom. Yeah. And that's kind of helpful in a way, because you're going to learn more things about how the society works than a person just going to punch their card 9 to 5. Yeah. And repeat your day and you don't learn new things. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, for me, again, I'm attacking corporate jobs all the time. Yeah. It seems like it seems like you're waiting to retire if you work in a corporate job. You're just doing the same thing every day.
And God forbid if you get laid off, which is totally possible in any economic
Even the company
downturn.
can go down. Like just like your company might go down, their company might go down. So anything can happen in this market. I mean, Toys R Us went down. WeWork almost went down.
Yeah. And in this day and age, like it's easy for company to fall down. The lifespan is getting shorter and shorter. So battery just ran out.
It's okay.
Yeah. So you were talking about, everything's going online now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, most of the things are going online now, and I think people, especially young people, are gonna find out that they can do whatever they want to in the online space. That's why they're like digital creators now.
Mm-hmm.
People working online, people working remotely, and from what I saw, even companies in San Francisco are like paying people to work from home, not to pay them to live in the city because rent is so high.
Yeah.
So in the future, I think most people are going to start working remotely, unless, of course, you want to go and buy a loaf of bread. Like someone has to still work in a shop. Unless, who knows, maybe with 3D printing, we're going to have some bread.
So the future is scary and bright. Yeah,
I think it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it's very important for us to still have a connection with the nature.
Yeah.
Because there's like a famous Romanian rapper saying something like...
famous Romanian rapper.
Yeah, we do have rappers in that country.
Oh God, memory card is full.
He's saying something like... I communicate with everyone around the globe, but I don't say hello to my neighbors.
Cool. We're going to end today's episode because my memory card is full. You're not going to see my face. I'm going to see your face. But thank you so much for being here.
Okay, thank
it's
you
a
for
nice
having
talk.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you.